All right, I believe I'm live. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? All right. Let's see here. I might want to turn myself down a little bit. All right. Hello, everybody. I know nobody's absolutely there except for me. That's totally fine. Hopefully, somebody may find this in the future and find it beneficial. My name's Shay, and this is a live coding session for Shay Develops. I've never worked with React before, and there's a lot of jobs and opportunities out there with React, and I want to try and use Next.js, which is React and Express, I believe, which is Node.js, a framework. And I want to try and get a project going to there. I've got like this photography idea, basically a way of getting photographers and people who need a picture taken together for, like whatever reason, whatever it's maybe a wedding, or you need your latest and greatest mugshot updated, whichever way. So I'm gonna go about this the way I usually do, and it's always kind of slow. Honestly, I'm a bit of a slower coder. I do things a bit more methodical, maybe. I don't even know if that's even correct either. I could just be doing them wrong and then having to redo them again. But and my design, I don't have one, so we're just gonna wing it, and it's going to be poor, but we're gonna be fine. All right, so it says, please check the video resolution. The current resolution is 2560 by 1080, which is not optimal. So sorry about that. I'm doing this on an ultra wide, so I'm not really sure how else to go about making that recording it at a better resolution without losing some of my screen real estate, but maybe that doesn't matter. So, let me know. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to open up a new I really think this through before I started. I'm just kind of winging this as we go. So let's go. I had Domino's and we're looking for a car. All right, Next.js. And this is Next.js is an open source framework development framework built on top of Node.js, enabling React-based web application functionalities such as server-side rendering and generating static websites. Well, that doesn't sound too fun, right? Generating a static website, but whatever. I want to give, like I said, React a try, and also, Next.js. So we're gonna maybe build a REST API with Next.js, even though I've honestly never built one of those either. I've built plenty of projects, just not never one with an actual API connection. So I really want to do that as well and kind of branch out my expertise as a programmer, even though I've been doing this for a long time. All right, and I hardly made it anywhere, which is very unfortunate. All right, so why Next.js, world-leading companies? Okay, I don't honestly, that's all fine and dandy. Start learning, because this is where I go. Like, I get the docs, I may get a Udemy video or something like that to go along with it, but in this section right here is just going to be me winging it, reading through the documentation and seeing what we come up with, right? So it says to build a complete web application with React from scratch, there are many important details you need to consider. Okay, yeah, let's just get me through it. Basically, I just want to know how to get started, because I don't know React, but I do know that it's basically just components within components. And then you write your own HTML, CSS, and JavaScript within each component, and then you add those components to the ultimately bigger component that makes up your pages. So let's go to our setup. So if you don't have Node installed, I have Node. So that's fine. I can open up here. I can just do node-v. Yeah, I'm running version 12.18.3. Excuse me. You'll be using your own text editor and terminal. I use Visual Studio Code. You can Google it and download it online. Lots of people have videos about it, and it does very well. If you're on Windows, we recommend using downloading Git for Windows. I do have Git. Can you use Git-V? Is that a thing? No. Oh, Git-version. I have version 2.8.1.windows.1. All right, well, that's interesting. Didn't know they had a .windows. Anyway, now we want to create our Next.js app. So to create it, we'll want to open our terminal, cd into the directory that we want. So I need to cd into my desktop. Let's see here. Well, maybe I can make this bigger so you guys can see it. There we go. cd into tilde desktop. There we go. And then I want to make a directory. Oh, no, I think I already have a directory called photography. So we'll cd into, I'll just do ls.la, right? No. cd. No? Do I not have one? Okay, I have another idea. I'm just going to get rid of that and then come over here to my desktop and right click and git bash here. Oh, it's the OneDrive desktop. Honestly, I'm not a fan of that OneDrive. So I disabled it from my PC, but it's still like all my stuff is in that folder directory. Maybe I should probably move it. Anyway, back to creating our Next.js app. So we don't have to make this the whole size. All right, so to create a Next.js app, open your terminal, cd into the directory, which we're in the photography directory. You'd like to create the app in and run the following command: npx create next app Next.js blog, use npm example. Okay, and then we have this little starter example here. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and create a new directory and then just go through this little starter and see what becomes of that, right? So we can go back into here and I can go back one, and then I can make a new directory called starter Next.js, and I should actually change my title to live coding first time working with Next.js and React. Building a photography website using Next.js React. All right. That should be good enough for now. Okay. Now I am familiar with like Express. So I've built some websites with Express. Built some with Spring Boot. That kind of stuff. But all right. So now we can make our starter Next.js. I guess that'd be fun. Okay. Okay, we'll make the directory, and then we'll cd into it. And then this, now we'll do, it says npx create, and I know I could just copy and paste this, but I'll copy and paste the end part. But I want to npx create next app Next.js blog. Or do I want to call it starter Next.js? Anyway, that's fine. Who cares? Use npm. Of course, we're using npm. And then we have this example site that now we're going to pass that. This string. Oh, come on now. Oh, you're just going to make me copy the whole thing. Man. Okay, well. All right, let me just paste it back in. No big deal. Paste. Hit enter. Let's see what happens. All right, npx installed in 1.878 seconds. All right, let's make this bigger and then make this a little bigger so we can see what it says. All right, it says npx create installing package. This might take a couple of minutes. Install the packages. Initialized. Oh, it initialized a Git repository for us as well. Success. Created Next.js blog. It tells me where it created it. Inside that directory, you can run several commands. So npm run dev, npm starts the development server, npm run build, builds the app for production, npm start runs the built app in production mode. Okay, and then we suggest that you begin by typing npm run dev, and we could probably go into the package.json file and change these up and create our own build packages or whatever if we'd want to. But for now, let's go. Listen, so we want to cd into Next.js blog. And now we're in our, you can see here it says main right here. That means we're in the, and within Git, we're talking about here, we have checked out the main branch. And if you want to talk about more about Git, I've thought about creating this like Git Shorts sequence where we just do very little quick bits about Git, and then eventually you put them all together, and you've got like a clear understanding. So let's go ahead and run npm run dev. And it says ready, started on server 0003000, URL localhost 3000. Info using Webpack 5, reason enabled by default. Okay. Attention, Next.js now collects completely anonymous telemetry regarding usage. Okay. The information is used to shape Next roadmap and prioritize features. Okay, cool, awesome. So now let's go check out and see what we've got here. So I'm gonna throw this there, grab this, put it here. Now we need localhost 3000. Boom, it said, okay, so now that I've went in there, so event, build page, wait, compiling, event compiled successfully. Welcome to Next.js. Get started by editing pages /index.js. And then we have our documentation, which is great because we're going to be needing that to continue forward. Learn about Next.js and an interactive course with quizzes. I wonder if I should take that. Deploy. Instantly deploy your Next.js site to a public URL with Versal. Nice. Well, I don't think we're at deploy yet, but we're not far off, I don't believe. Examples, discover and deploy boilerplate example Next.js projects. Let's check out some examples. GraphQL, analyze bundling, app routes, auth. So, okay. content management system stuff. CMS, nice. Shoot, it looks like we got lots and lots of stuff that we could go through. We could spend a lot of time just like going through. This is here we got with Tailwind. Oh, with 3JS. That's cool. That's another JavaScript package I want to mess around with, or framework, or I'm not sure what that is yet. I know lots of people have already made videos and stuff on it, but you know, you get there when you get there, right? All right, but I don't think we need to be in there. Well, I think we need to be at Learn, maybe, right? Well, about this tutorial, this is free interactive course will guide you through how to get started with Next.js. In this tutorial, you'll learn Next.js basics by creating a very simple blog app. Here's an example of the final result. Okay. Usuji, play dirty. All right. Hello, I'm Shu. I'm a software engineer, translator, English, Japanese. You can contact me on Twitter. I used to live in Japan. I absolutely love it there. More like I was stationed in Japan where I was in the Marine Corps. But man, I absolutely loved it there. Such friendly people. Oh, it was great. Good food too, and I hate fish. This is a sample website. You'll be building it like this in our Next.js tutorial, and we'll have a blog. So nice, very cool. Nothing crazy there. All right, so we can close that, and let's see if we can get started. Okay, so we did this first part right here. We created our Next.js app using our Learn starter, and then we've ran the development server. We npm run dev. That's where we have that local host. Let's go back to it. Localhost 3000. There we go. Powered by Versal. Nice. Could check out the documentation as well. Make sure we have that open. But let's continue on. Quick review. What did you see on the page? I believe this is welcome. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Welcome to Next.js. Help is available. If you get stuck, you can reach out to the community GitHub discussions. Let's try to edit this page. Okay. All right, let's try editing the starter page. So what we can do is we can go into my site is, or not my site, but my whatever. My desktop is atrocious. All right, we go into the Next.js blog. Actually, let's back up out of there. We're going to right click. I'm going to open that with code. And I'm going to fling code on the left side over here. Have this on the right. And we'll close that. So now it's talking about going to pages and going to index.js. And we see we've got some imports here. And then exporting our home function, which returns basically all of our HTML, except for I have some static chunks, build manifest, webpack. Okay, looks like I have a bit of stuff to actually work through. Here's our server, talking about our pages. And this is our index. Okay, this is loading up all of our pages, but I think this is getting ahead of where the excuse me, where this is taking us, right? So let's go back to our index.js. We'll open it up and we'll make it the whole thing. Hopefully you guys can see that just fine. And then now, okay, find the text that says welcome to, under the H1 tag says learn, and save the file. Welcome to, and we'll just do learn. And then we'll save it. As soon as you save the file, the browser automatically updates the page with the new text. It absolutely did. Awesome. Pretty cool. Get started by editing pages.index.js. I mean, I kind of think I'm a little bit beyond that. So I am curious where this head tag's coming from. I assume, okay, it's a React element using some JSX stuff. Oh, I can just control click it and there we go. Nice. Head.d.ts. Is that TypeScript? Yeah, TypeScript. Okay. Create job. It's for the first lesson. In the next lesson, you will talk about creating more pages and navigating between pages. You should keep the development server running, but if you want to restart it, hit Control-C to stop the server. All right. Well, that's cool. Let's go to the next lesson. All right, so far the Next.js app we created only has one page. Websites and web applications generally have many different pages. Let's explore how to add more pages to our application. What you'll learn in this lesson, you will create a new page using the integrated file system routing. I'm going to go and open that up. I might need to, I'm definitely going to need to read up on how Next.js does their routing. Learn how to use the link component to enable client-side navigation between pages. Okay. And learn about built-in support for code splitting and prefetching. Now, I heard you may want to code split and prefetch within React because of some SEO implications, or if you want to run it on a specific browser per se and you're having some issues with that, you may want to do that before, but we'll get into that point when we get there, right? So let's start now. All right, so navigating between pages. If you continue from the previous lesson, you can skip this page and click the next button. All right, we did that. So pages in Next.js. In Next.js, a page is a React component exported from a file in the pages directory. Pages are associated with a route based on their file name. For example, in development, pages/index.js is associated with the /route, and pages/post/firstpost.js is associated with the post/first route. Okay, so basically you'd have pages and /, and then you would have the rest of your hierarchy, page hierarchy, and then depending on how that's laid out, it knows which one to associate by. If you have index.js, that's what it'd be. I'm sure you could probably specify it to like app.js if you were coming from using Express framework. That might work out for you, but seems to be fine with index.js. All right, so we already have the pages.index.js file, so let's create our pages/post firstpost.js file to see how it works. So create the post directory under pages. So we could do that within here. I could start up a new git bash command line prompt here and do it from there, or I could just do it within Visual Studio Code, or I could open up the terminal with him. Yeah, I'm just talking too much now. I'm just gonna create it and open it up within let's see here, it said create the post directory under pages. So we'll create a new folder, we'll call it posts, and create a file called firstpost.js. Firstpost.js. Inside the post directory with the following content. I'll just copy and paste that, but it says export. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Export export default. Why is it such a funny word? Export default function, first post, return h1 first post. Okay, so we're returning an h1 tag. We could return anything that we wanted to, any kind of content. All right. The component can have any name, but you must first export it as a default export. Now, make sure the development server is running and visit http localhost 3000 post / first post. Well, I feel like the F's are really messing with me today. You should see this page. Okay, so I'm going to save it, and then we're back at our local host, but it said go to posts / first post. Okay. Post / first post. Hey, I see first post. Nice. Now I could probably put like a exclamation point and boom. That was really fast. It updated that very quickly. So that's pretty nice. All right. So this is how you can create different pages in Next.js. Simply create a JS file under the pages directory, and the path to the file becomes the URL path. Well, that's something pretty important to remember. Simply create a JavaScript file under the pages directory, and the path to the file becomes the URL path. So I could create a new folder specifically tailored to like this photography website that I want to, in which that I have one side I have photographers, and then on the other side I have people looking for photographers. So I could create pages with different. I hear my dog at the door. Create the URL structure of these of my site based on just through the page structures. That's pretty awesome. All right. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to wait, until I get to my actual website that I'm working on. See, sometimes I just draw a blank, but don't we all? All right. Simply create a JS file under the. Okay, we did that. In a way, this is similar to building websites using HTML or PHP files. Instead of writing HTML, you write JSX and use React components. So I'm sure I think JSX is similar to HTML. You're just creating your own React components that have a similar structure and an understanding to HTML components. All right, let's add a link to the newly added page so that we can navigate to it from the home page. Okay, so a quick review. If you wanted to add a new route, authors me, what would the file name be, including the directory? Be pages authors.me.js. Next. Oh, did I get it right? It didn't tell me. Previous. Oh, I have to submit. Correct. Good job. All right. Yeah, go me. I'm paying attention. Honestly, this stuff is kind of easy, but I know it's going to exponentially get much harder very quickly. Because the baby steps are always, well, you feel like they're the hardest, but yeah, they're not that difficult. When linking between pages on websites, you use the anchor tag, HTML tag, the A tag. In Next.js, you use the link component from Next/link to wrap the A tag. Link allows you to do client-side navigation to a different page in the application. Okay, so in the Next.js, you use the link component from the Next/link. Okay, to wrap the anchor tag. Link allows you to do client-side navigation to do a different page. Allows you to do client-side navigation to a different page in the application. Okay. So to use the link, use the link. So I just use the force, I guess. Using link. First, open pages.index.js and import the link component. Okay, so go back over here, make that a little bit, give me a little bit more space. And now I want to import link from next/link. Okay. And I haven't used it yet, so it's grayed out, I guess. I can click this button. What's that? Remove import. No, I don't want to do that. You stop that. Go away. Don't tell me what to do. Code machine. All right. Then find the h1 tag that looks like this. h1 class name title learn. Oh no. All right. A class name title learn a href http next.js a. Then find the h1 tag that looks like this. Oh, I swear I'm just like rereading the same thing over and over. And sometimes, that's going to happen to you. So you may need to take a break so you're not getting all bent out of shape and all bastardly to your friends and coworkers. All right. So then find the h1 tag that looks like this. Class name, title, learn next.js. Yeah. Okay, that one right there. And change it to h1 class name title. We can leave that the same. We want read this open curly braces with single quotes. Oh, we're creating our link. That is, what is the read for? Oh, and link is capitalized as well. Link href equals /posts first post. And we'll close that. Oh, it should be double quotes this time. I'm gonna follow their quoting pattern just in case I'm not 100% sure. So we'll have our link. And then within the link, we have just a very simple anchor tag. This page. And then get rid of that. I'll save it, but I'm not going to go over there and look yet. It says, and we changed it to, okay. So now we get to figure out what the curly braces and the single quote means. Adds an empty space which is used to divide text over multiple lines. Okay, so we just put read with a space. Okay, I was just saying read this page, but this page should go to a multiple line. Next, open pages first post first post. So we got here, go to posts first post. And then we're going to return, and this is going to be a much bigger return. So it's probably just going to get rid of that right there. We're going to start with some parentheses, and we're going to do this weird less than greater than symbol. Oh, okay. And then we're going to do another one where we close that same tag, stating, I'm sure something. And they'll tell me later because I'm not really sure. Like, I can understand that that's where I'm supposed to put my code in and get that that's the syntactical sugar of it. But I'd like to know maybe a little bit more about it, I guess. All right. So we have our H1. I can't write emit in here, so I literally have to write H1. First post, then we'll come to the end, and then we'll do H2, and we'll create a link which has to be capitalized because it's from the great old mighty React. So // and then an a tag. There we go. Back to home. Nice, so we're creating a link that first goes that goes to the first post page and then back to home. And all the link is this bit right here. And this is the part telling us that we're returning JSX code within the index.js, or recreate this, or not within index.js, but within the page that we're going to. All right, so now that's done. Let's see what it says. It says, as you can see, the link component is similar to using the anchor tags, but instead of a href equals, you use link href equals and put an anchor tag inside. But why? Let's check to see if it works. You should now have a link on each page, allowing you to go back and forth. All right. Oh, server error. Link is not defined. Import link from next link. Did I miss something? Okay. Oh, I didn't import next link on here. Duh. That is what I missed. Import link from next link. All right. Save that, and we should be good to go. Back to home. Read this page. Yeah, I like it. Boom. Shakalaka. Look at that. It works pretty simply. You don't have to create a route or anything. It kind of just like does that for you behind the scenes, it looks like, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. I'm sure, though, we're going to have to create our own custom routes at some point, because you're going to need to, unless you can dynamically create the route and pass in whatever data that you, which I'm, oh, who am I kidding? Of course you can. All right. We're ready to go on. Now, this is client-side navigation. The link component enables client-side navigation between two pages in the same Next.js app. Client-side navigation means that the page transition happens using JavaScript, which is faster than the default navigation done by the browser. Here's a simple way you can verify it. Use the HTML browser's developer tools to change the background, CSS property of HTML to yellow. Click on the links to go back and forth between the two pages. You'll see that the yellow background persists between page transitions. This shows that the browser does not load the full page and client-side navigation is working. It's saying this shows that the browser does not load the full page and client-side navigation is working. So we'll go back home. We're going to right-click. We're going to inspect. We're going to go to the HTML tag, and we're going to say background color yellow. And close this, and I'm going to go to here, and then I'm immediately going to go back again. Boom. And it's still yellow. Yeah, because we're not creating a All right. Yes, this is all happening on the client. This is it's not sending a request to the server. Yeah, that's okay. So I get what it's stating now. It took me. I guess it really actually took me a minute. I thought that we were making a request, but we are not. That's cool. All right. Okay, if you're using a href instead of a link href and did this, the background color would be cleared on link because the browser does a full refresh. Okay. Code splitting and prefetching. Next.js does code splitting automatically, so each page only loads what's necessary for that page. That means when the home page is rendered, the code for the other pages is not served initially. Okay. This ensures that the home page loads quickly, even if you have hundreds of pages. Only loading the code for the page you request also means that pages become isolated. If a certain page throws an error, the rest of the application would still work. That's really good. Furthermore, in a production build of Next.js, well, man, you may be wondering why that's good. And that's good because you want to fail gracefully as possible. And if you can fail without crashing the rest of your app, that's fairly graceful. Okay, furthermore, in a production build of Next.js, whenever link components appear in the browser's viewport, Next.js automatically prefetches the code for the linked page in the background. So by the time you click the link, the code for the destination page will already be loaded in the background, and the page transition will be near instant. Okay, so it says, furthermore, in a production build of Next.js, whenever the link component appears in the browser's viewport, Next.js, so it's just there. Next.js is loading it in the background. Okay. Summary, Next.js automatically optimizes your page's application for the best performance by code splitting client-side navigation and prefetching in production. You create routes as files under pages, and use the built-in link component. No routing libraries are required. That's pretty nice. You can learn more about the link component in the API reference for next/link and routing in general in the routing documentation. Okay, so I have routing and next/link that's my homework, right? Like you're always learning in this field. If you're not learning, you're gonna get passed up. That's why I really feel strongly about just creating this kind of content. Even if I come out here and look dumb, at least you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that guy's dumb. Don't do it like him. But hopefully I'm not dumb and giving it this a valiant effort. All right. Summary. Next.js automatically optimizes your application for the best performance by code splitting client-side navigation and prefetching in production. You can create routes as files under pages and use the built-in link component. No routing library is required. Okay, I read that already, but I'm going to reread it again. You can learn more about the link component. Yeah. Okay. Note, if you need to link to an external page outside the Next.js app, just use an anchor tag without the link. Oh, okay. So just basic normal stuff. All right. And if you need to add attributes, like for example, class name, add it to the anchor tag, not the link tag. Here's an example. Link. We just got our href, and then we have our anchor tag with our class name, foo name, target, rel. Okay, cool, easy enough. If you're at this level, you should understand what was stated right there. That's no big deal. Okay, so let's see here. Do we have? Oh yeah. Quick review. A user opens their browser and navigates to your blog.com /first. What JavaScript is initially loaded for this page? Only the JavaScript for first post is loaded. I mean, that should be. Yay. All right. Yeah, you don't want to load all the JavaScript for the entire application. That sounds kind of terrible. Okay. Assets, metadata, and CSS. Ooh, I'm up to 100 points and I can tweet about it. I'm good. I'll wait till I get to the end and make a no big deal about it. All right. The second page we added currently does not have the styling, and I'm curious, do I want to take a little break, grab a small little bit to drink because I am a little parched, but I will be back pretty much just momentarily. I wish I had like a BRB screen that wasn't atrocious, but I'm going to leave it at that, and I could just inspect this and make this, oh my goodness, what is wrong with all this? Just gonna make this say BRB. BRB this page. Be right back this page. Okay. Yeah, as the page, I will be right back in probably like 5-ish or so minutes. I'm not gonna pause the stream because I don't want to. Primarily. All right. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I am back, and I just saw this video where these people are saving this ride called the Magic Carpet that spins you around like a clock, and it's about to lose its crap and fall over. And a bunch of people jump on and hold this thing down until the people can come to the end of the ride. I bet you that would be like the ride of, your life, getting off that thing after it's done. Because, oh man, if that thing tumbled over, it would have not have been good. So thank goodness to all those people out there, who jumped in and saved them. All right. Now, let's get ready for some code. Back to code. I forgot what I was doing, honestly. But I do have some water. And I know I said BRB this page. That's silly. I'm going to go ahead and refresh that where it says read this page, and we have it the way it should be. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry, I had something in my throat there. Didn't want to cough in the microphone. All right. So we're now at the assets section. I'm going to move this here. We're at the assets section, assets, metadata, and CSS. How do we get to the good stuff, right? The second page we added currently does not have styling. Let's add some CSS to style the page. Next.js has built-in support for CSS and Sass. Okay, awesome. For this course, we will use CSS. Well, I would rather use Sass, but okay. So I guess we're using CSS. This lesson will also talk about how Next.js handles static assets like images and page metadata like the title tag. What you'll learn in this lesson. In this lesson, you will learn how to add static files, images, etc. to Next.js, how to customize what goes inside the head for each page, and how to create a reusable React component which is styled using CSS modules, how to add CSS, how to add global CSS in pages _app.js, and some useful tips for styling in Next.js. Prerequisites, some basic CSS knowledge. The course will go over how to add CSS in Next.js app, but it won't cover CSS fundamentals. Well, that's fine. CSS is fairly easy anyway, at least to get going. It's one of those languages that's, I really wouldn't even call it, it's not even a language, it's just a set of directions, really. It's just one of those things where it's very easy to pick up and get playing with and figure it out, but very easy to get in over your head and have too much CSS bloat because you don't understand exactly 100% about how all these changes that you're doing are affecting things down the line as far as inheritance and things like that. But anyway, I digress. Let's continue on. Start now. Okay, so if we're continuing from the previous lesson, which we are, just hit next. Next.js can serve static assets like images under the top level public directory files inside public. Can be referenced from the root of your application, similar to pages. So that's it's actually fairly similar to Express and something like that. Whenever you have public is what's actually going to be shown at the end, right? So very much your static asset should go here. Sorry if you can hear my chair. It's like a pleather crappy chair. Trying to get a little bit more comfortable. All right. Next.js can serve static assets like images under the top level directory files inside inside public, can be referenced from the root of the application, similar to pages. The public directory is also useful for robots.txt, Google site verification, and any other static assets. Well, that's important to know. Check out the documentation for static file serving to learn more. All right, very cool, very cool. I think my desk is a mess right now. All right. Guess maybe I should put that on my to-read list already. Jeez, I've already got 4 pages of homework, and I'm sure those pages will have pages within them. All right. Next.js okay, yeah, we've read that 3 times now, Shay. All right, the public directory is also useful for, yep, we've read that one once already. Download your profile picture. First, let's retrieve your profile picture. Download your profile picture in .jpeg format or use this file. What is the file that they're giving us? Oh, that's lame. Okay, I mean, kind of cool, but in itself. Because I'm sure that's some kind of really cool molecular structure that builds something. And makes it like super strong or something, who knows. Alright, so first let's retrieve your profile picture, download your profile picture, okay. In JPEG format. Create an images directory inside the public directory. So we're going to go back over here, and within our public directory, right here, we're going to right click new folder. We're going to call it images. And then I actually do have a picture of myself somewhere. So hold on. Let me try and find it. Well, it says the image size can be around 400 by 400. This one's quite a bit bigger or quite a bit smaller. I don't really have much of anything in between. So, bigger it is, I don't care. It's fine. I can optimize it later, right? Okay, yeah, so that's my big, pretty face. You're welcome. I actually don't have that beard anymore. All right. At least not for now. Oh my goodness, where's the I want to close this so bad and it won't close. No, oh my god, I just made it bigger. No, oh my god, bigger. Okay, get away. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I took that out of control. Okay. Now back to download your profile picture. Oh yeah, I did that already. All right, create an images directory inside the public directory. Did that. Save the picture as profile.jpg. Okay. So back to here, I'm just going to right click this, rename it to profile. The image can be around whatever. You may remove the unused SVG logo file under the public directory. Oh, the versatile SVG. I'm guessing I'll just get rid of that, yeah. Which recycling bin? Absolutely. Unoptimized image. With regular HTML, you would add your profile picture as follows. However, this means you have to manually handle ensuring your image is responsive on different screen sizes, optimizing your images with a third-party tool or library, only loading images when they enter the viewport. Oh, none of those sounds like a lot of fun things to do. And more. Instead, Next.js provides an image component out of the box to handle this for you. Yippee! That's actually pretty sweet because I honestly hate to do that stuff. It's not hate, it's more like it's tedious work, and tedious work kind of stinks, you know, to a point. Excuse me, sorry. And more. Next.js provides an image component out of the box to handle this for you. Okay. Image component and image optimization. Next Slash image is an extension of the HTML image element, evolved for the modern web. So I'm sure we're probably going to have to import this like we did with the link. Next.js also has support for the image optimization by default. This allows for resizing, optimizing, and serving images. Excuse me. And serving images in modern formats like WebP. When the browser supports it, this avoids shipping large images to devices with a smaller viewport. It also allows Next.js to automatically adopt future image formats and serve them to browsers that support these formats. Automatic image optimization works with any image source, even if the image is hosted by an external data source like a CMS. It can still be optimized. Even if it's behind a content management system, they still got it. And it's external. They will shrink it down. They will optimize it. It does its, that's next level right there. Using the image component, instead of optimizing images at build time, Next.js optimizes images on demand and uses them on demand as users request them. Unlike static site generators and static site only solutions, your build times aren't increased, whether shipping 10 images or 10 million images. Images are lazily loaded by default. Hey, that's nice. That saves you on your page speed, page load speed, and Google will thank you for it by increasing your rankings through SEO, bits or whatever they do. I don't know. So instead of, images are lazy loaded by default. That means your page speed isn't penalized for images outside the viewport. The pages or images load as they are scrolled into the viewport. Images are always rendered in such a way as to avoid cumulative layout shift, a core web vital that Google is going to use in their search ranking. So there you go. That's pretty sweet. And I think cumulative layout shift might be where they're talking about if an image isn't loaded, like you're starting to read something and then boom, it shifts down, and then another image loads and it shifts down, and something else loads and it shifts up, and you're trying to read like one paragraph and it moves 4 times before you can actually finally get to it. That is annoying, very annoying. And that's actually probably something easy to look at, because you can tell, like, just, hey, follow this paragraph tag and watch its height based off of, or watch its position within the plane of the HTML page as things load around it. If it doesn't change, you've done a good job. Okay, I just cracked my neck. I don't know if you heard that or not. Felt pretty good for me. All right. So we're at the using the image component. Instead of optimizing images at build time, Next.js optimizes images on demand as users request them. Unlike static site generators and static only solutions, your build times aren't increased, whether shipping 10 images or 10 million. Oh, okay, we read that. Oh, okay, right. Here's an example using Next/image to display our profile picture, the height and width. Props should be desired rendering size with an aspect ratio identical to the source image. We'll use this component later in polishing layout. No need to copy it yet. Okay. So this is just how it's going to work. So we're going to import the image from Next.image. Like I said, we're going to do that. So we have our component that we're creating. Every time we want to throw down that image, route of the image, okay, images profile, height, width, desired size with correct aspect ratio. Okay. And I'm assuming that's pixels. Anyway, to learn more about automatic image optimization, check the documentation. To learn more about the image component, check the API reference. Next image. Well, I guess we're gonna be reading for a while, guys. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Yeah. Quick review. What does Next/image simplify for you. Uploading and storing images, resizing and optimizing images, cropping and coloring, correcting images, resizing and optimizing images. Boom. All right, metadata. What if we wanted to modify the metadata of the page, such as the title HTML tag? Title is a part of the head. Jeez. I have something in my throat right now, and I'm really sorry about that. Title is a part of the head HTML tag. So let's dive into how we can modify the head tag in the Next.js page. You know what? I'm actually going to take another quick second and just get this cleared out of my throat. So I am going to turn myself down, and I'll be right back. All right, so that might be better. We'll have to wait and see. Probably not, honestly. Yeah, see, definitely not. All right, HTML tag. So let's dive into how we can modify the head tag in a Next.js page. Open pages.next.js in your editor and find the following lines. Wants us to find the head, create next app. And then we have a link to our favicon. Okay. Notice that the head is used instead of the lowercase head. Head is a React component that is built into Next.js. It allows you to modify the head of a page. You can import the head component from the Next head module. Okay. Notice that the head is Notice that the head is used inside of the lowercase head. Is it? Notice that uppercase head is used instead of, oh my goodness. I guess maybe the way that I don't know. Instead of the lowercase head. Head is a React component that is built into Next.js. It allows you to modify the head of the page. You can import the head component from Next/head module. And that's exactly what's done right here. Okay. Adding head to the first post.js. We haven't added the title to our post as first route. Let's add one. Open the pages post first post.js file and add an import for head from Next/head at the beginning of the file. I'm just going to copy this. You could copy it from right here, and we're just going to go right here. And I'm going to go let's do at the very start. All right, we're going to save that. Then update the exported first post component to include the head component. For now, we'll just add the title tag. Okay, so this is being exported. So we'll have a capital head tag, and we'll give it a title, and we'll call it first post. No big deal there. That seems fairly mundane, honestly. Okay, then we update the. It's actually pretty nice. It feels good, I guess. Breaking it out into these components. Now it's going to be maybe. Sorry if you hear my chair. I'm trying to get more comfortable. Later on, yeah, I said my train of thought had just went kaput and off the rails, so I'm just going to continue on. But so far, I think this could be good, but we'll see. All right, then update. Wow. The exported first post component to include the head component. For now, we'll just have the title tag. Okay, we did that, and that's looking pretty good. Try accessing localhost 3000 post as first post. The browser tab should now say the title first post. It does. Yay. I can see it up here. Maybe you don't see it, but I see it. It's doing it. Write your own code if you're, doing this. Don't copy mine. Even though I'm just copying theirs. Okay, so try accessing first post, and we did that. The browser tab should now say first post. By using the browser's developer tools, you should see that the title tag is added to head. Nice. To learn, it's saying that if I actually right click to hit inspect and check out all of our metadata, we can come down and find our title, which is given a class JSX dash, and its serial number, first post, which is exactly there, and there we go. All right. To learn more about the head component, check out the API reference for No, I'm done checking out your silly 8. No, I'm just kidding. I'll check it out. I'll put it on the list. Who cares? All right. If you want to customize the HTML tag, for example, to add the lang attribute, you can do so by creating a pages_documents.js file. To learn more about custom documentation, whenever you put this underscore in front of like a document name, usually that means it's not a main document that has direct control of everything, but rather it gets passed into a document of bigger things, and does some stuff in there. So anyway, with that done, let's continue on. Let's now talk about CSS styling. As you can see, our index page, localhost 3000, already has some styles. If you take a look at pages.index.js, you should see code like this: style, JSX, and some styling. There you go. It's down at the bottom. We found it. It's all brown and hideous. I wish that had some better color. Anyway, this page is using a library called styled.jsx. It's a CSS in JS library. It lets you write CSS within a React component, and the CSS styles will be scoped. Means other components won't be affected. Okay, that's pretty nice. Next.js has built-in support for styled JSX, but you can also use other popular CSS and JS libraries such as styled components or emotion. Emotion? Oh, with emotion, huh? I could create an with emotion app. I honestly can't be bothered. We'll do that later. Yeah, let's write CSS. So sometimes you might actually write duplicate CSS, but it's going to go through some kind of compiling system. So by the end of it, it probably won't be duplicate, right? Next.js has a built-in support for CSS and Sass, which allows you to import .css and .scss files. Using popular CSS libraries like Tailwind CSS is also supported. Cool. So I want to use Sass, probably. I like Sass. Using popular CSS libraries like Tailwind CSS is also supported. In this next lesson, we'll talk about how to write and import CSS files in Next.js. We'll also talk about Next.js, built-in support for CSS modules, and Sass. Let's dive in. All right, they make it sound so fun and exciting, right? Absolutely, me too. All right, first let's create a layout component which will be shared across all pages. Create a top-level directory called components. Inside components, create a file called layout.js with the following content. Yes, Next.js overlords. I will do as you say. So it says first create a layout component which will be shared across all pages. So to do this, we're going to create a top level directory. Okay, so above all other directories, we're going to create another directory, so a new folder. We're going to call it components. And then inside components, we're going to create a file called layout.js. And this is actually kind of similar to what you would even do with even like a proper SaaS setup. You're going to have your components and your layouts and stuff like that. Sure, it's a little different, but and it's with, it's not JavaScript, but it doesn't really matter because it all kind of has that same kind of feel and theme to it. So if you can understand where to see coding patterns and not necessarily like how you code, because this sugary syntax of coding languages is all the same and different at the same time, All right, so inside the components, we create layout.js, and then we're going to add export default function layout children return div children. Okay, so let's copy that. We're going to paste it here and save. Okay, then open pages post first post.js and add an import for the layout component and make sure it's the outermost component. Okay, so we're going to go back to our pages first post, and our last import here is going to be for layout from. We're going to go back to directories into components. I'm glad they did that because sometimes I'm like, oh man, like I don't know, like why this isn't linking to this, and it's because I didn't go back a directory, and that's my bad for that. But excuse me. But so this is actually coming from pages first post. We went back a directory into posts. No, we're in posts. We went back a directory into pages. I'm confused a little bit. Hopefully we'll dive in a little bit more with that. But okay, I'm going to trust in that it's totally how this goes. All right, and so we're going to return. Oh, and I want to create layout here. So this is where I want to use my layout. And then, and they said they wanted it to be the outermost. Go ahead and tab that over there. Save it, the outermost element there. And then we're going to add some CSS. Now let's add some styles to the layout component. To do so, we'll use CSS modules, which lets you import CSS files in a React component. Okay. Create a file called components layout.module.css. So within our components, we're going to new file. We're going to do layout.module.css. And I'm just following along here. I'm not really 100% sure how all this is going to tie together, but it seems like React is just extremely modular, and Next.js is trying to use that. All right, so to create a file called component/layout.module.css with the following content, we have our container here. So I'll copy it, paste our container content there, which we're using rems. Okay, that's cool. I like rems. Import to use CSS modules. The CSS file name must end with .module.css. Okay, important. To use CSS modules, the CSS file name must end with module.css. Okay, .module.css. All right. To use this container class inside components/layouts.js, you'll need to import the CSS file and assign a name to it like styles. Open components layout.js. So we'll go to layouts.js. We're going to open it. We're returning this div, and we're going to, right here at the top, we're going to import styles from layout.module.css. And we're calling it styles. And then we do div class name equals, and we got some curly braces, styles dot container. Oh, that's honestly kind of bad. It feels like a weird way to do that, but I guess not. It's just a div with the styles.container, and you're just importing it. It just feels a little different, so I guess it's not bad. It just feels different. All right, and then your children, if you go to this link here, our first post link, now you should see that this text is centered as a centered container. All right, so let's go back. Yeah, I mean, it moved, right? So sure. Automatically generates unique class names. That's cool. It is now a centered container. Okay, automatically generates unique class names. Now, if you take a look at the HTML in your browser's DevTools, you'll notice that the div rendered by the layout component has a class name that looks like layout underscore container underscore underscore, and then some gibberish. I'm sure we can do that. We can inspect. Yeah, right here, 2TV2 or 2T4V2. Well, what does all that mean? Oh yeah, 2T4V2. This is what CSS modules does. It automatically generates unique class names as long as you use CSS modules. You don't have to worry about class name collisions. That's pretty amazing. Furthermore, Next.js coding, splitting. So that means you don't have to worry about naming conventions either, really. Furthermore, Next.js's coding splitting feature works on CSS modules as well. It ensures the minimal amount of CSS is loaded for each page. This results in smaller bundle sizes. CSS modules are extracted from the JavaScript bundles at build time and generate CSS files that are loaded automatically by Next.js. All right, then. All right, quick review. Which of the following styling methods does Next.js not have built-in support for? I don't know, style components? I feel like that's wrong too. Oh, wow, I was right. Okay. CSS modules are extracted from the JavaScript bundles at build time and generate .css files that are loaded automatically by Next.js. Okay. Furthermore, Next.js's code splitting. I think I read that, but I may have just blanked over whatever I was reading. So it's nice to read things a couple of times. I may be reaching a reading point where I'm kind of like, all right. But I'm going to keep going, you know. All right, global styles. I mean, I've already went through all that. It's pretty good. CSS modules are useful for component level styles, but if you want some CSS to be loaded by every page, Next.js has support for that as well. Okay. CSS modules are, never mind, just read that. To load global CSS files, create a file called pages_app.js with the following content. Let's see here. pages_app.js. We're going to copy and paste this where we export default function app component page props, return component with an unlimited amount of page props. All right. If I'm not mistaken, this ellipsis right here means that there can be an almost indefinite amount of parameters passed, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, this app component is the top level component, which will be common across all the different pages. You can use this app component to keep state when navigating between pages. For example, restart the development server. Important, you need to restart the development server when you add pages on Next.js. Press Ctrl+C to... Why? Well, I mean, I don't mind to do that. It's no big deal. npm run dev, back on that run, you know. Vroom, vroom. Okay. So we restart our development server. We can get rid of that. We now have an error. The default export is not a React component in page. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. Silly me for not saving it. Haha. Okay. Add global CSS. In Next.js, you can add global CSS files by importing them from pages in app.js or JS. You cannot import global CSS anywhere else. Okay, so that's very similar to how kind of how Sass works. Where you'd have a main file that you're importing from everywhere else. All right, in Next.js, you can add global. Okay, never mind. Read that already. The reason that global CSS can't be imported outside pages on a strategy is that global CSS affects all elements on a page. If you were to navigate from the home page per first post page, global styles from the home page would affect first post unintentionally. You can place the global CSS file anywhere and use any name. So let's do the following. Create a top level styles directory and create global.css inside. All right. So create a top level styles directory, and we're going to put global dot what is it, CSS inside. Add the following content to styles global.css. It resets some styles and changes the color of the anchor tag. Okay, so that's really no big deal. Yay. Okay, that's no problem at all. Paste that in. Finally, open and import the CSS file like so. All right. Import styles/global.css. There we go. We got some styling changes already. All right, now if you access our page, you'll see that the styles are applied. If it didn't work, make sure you restart the development server when you add the pages app.js. Okay? It did work for us, or at least for me. Hopefully it worked for you. If not, leave a comment, because I'll be checking this later, even if, you know, so I'm recording it live, but it's really just going to be a resource. Where can you import global CSS files? Only inside pages app.js. Boom, correct. That was dumb. All right. We might get through polishing layout. Because I have a feeling my dogs are getting restless. But that's okay. All right, so far we've only added minimal React and JS and CSS code just to illustrate concepts such as CSS modules. Yes, we haven't done anything really. Before we move on to our next lesson about data fetching, let's polish our page styling and code. Update components layout.module.CSS. First, open component/layout.module.CSS and replace it with the content with the following. Yeah, no problem. I don't mind copying and pasting some stuff. So that was where? Layout.modules.css. Copy, paste. Create a styles, utils.module.css within our components, I'm sure. New file, styles / let's add a new CSS file. Okay. Okay, so second, let's create a set of utility CSS classes for typography and others that would be useful across multiple components. Let's add a new CSS file, style/utils.module. Okay. With the following content. Go ahead and copy. Pasting that content into here. Hopefully I did it right. I created a styles directory within our components. So hopefully that's the way it wants it. Update components/layout.js. Third, open components.js layout.js and replace its component with the following code. Change your name to an actual name. All right, so it wants us to go to where? Component/layout.js. And it wants us to import the head, the image, the styles, the utility styles, the link, and our name. Next.js is a simple website. And then we've got all this metadata with the versatile image and whatnot. Okay. So can I control? No, I can't do that. Oh, goodness. A little too far. All right, we're going to copy. And we're placing it where? Within components layout.js. So right in here. Control A, Control V. And then for the name, I'm going to put Shay Develops. Here's what's new. Meta tags like OG image, which are used to describe a page's content. Boolean home prop, which will adjust the size of the title and the image. Okay. Back to home link at the bottom if home is false. Well, that's cool. Added images with next image, which are preloaded with the priority attribute. Update pages index.js. Let's finally update the home page. Okay, that's what we're doing now. Open pages index.js and replace it with this content. All right, just copy it. I was just getting, enjoying that content there. Wait, where's pages index.js? Right? I don't want to mess this up. Okay, yeah. All right, and save it. So that's a lot smaller now. That's nice. I do like that. Now we can come back here. Go back to home. Oh, failed to compile. Well. Then replace your self-introduction with your self-introduction. Here's an example. Oh, okay. So I can be like, hello, everyone. Oh. My name is Shay, and I am a Marine Corps veteran turned web developer. Come at me with those elite jobs, yo. All right. With the self-introduction, here's an example with the author's profile. That's it. We'll have the polished layout. All right, so let's see if it works. But we still have the error that's in our code, and I don't know what it could possibly be. So basically just going to have to go through it. It's talking about in the utils.module.css. Ah, I see. It's not in components. It's within its own. I'm a moron. There we go. And that's okay. So we make mistakes and we move on and we delete that. And look at that. My big old picture is now this little tiny picture. That's pretty cool. Like, what size is this image that it's passing on? It's really okay, so it's got a rendered size and an intrinsic size of only 256 by 259. And then I don't even know what that means. But it's not that 1400 some odd pixel thing that I passed along to it. So that's pretty cool. And I like what we have so far, you know? It's just nice, simple. Hey, everybody, this is me. Check me out. My used to be big old beard. Beard of goodness. Let's call that the beard of goodness. No. All right. That's it. We now have the polished layout code in place to move onto our data fetching lessons. Before we wrap up this lesson, let's talk about some helpful techniques related to Next.js's CSS support on the next page. Okay. Quick review. Why are CSS modules useful? They automatically fix any cross-browser issues. They scope styles at the component level. Really? Why are CSS modules useful? I feel like they scope styles at the component level. Boom. Good job. Nailed it. All right, so this is the last one, and I believe it's going to be the last one I go into for this video, because honestly my head's hurting a little bit. But after that, I have some a Get video that I want to record, and and then I may be back to do some more. But yeah, all right. Here are some styling tips that might be helpful. You can just read through the following sections. No need to make changes to your app. All right. Okay. Cool. Using class names library to toggle classes. Class names is the simple library that lets you toggle class names easily. You can install it, npm install class names, or yarn add class names. Well, that's pretty sweet. Please take a look at the documentation for details. For more details, but here's the basic usage. Suppose that you want to create an alert component which accepts type, which can be success or error. If it's success, you want the text color to be green. If it's error, you want the text color to be red. You can first write a CSS module, e.g. alert module.css like this. And then we have our two selectors there. Add the use class names like this. So we're importing our styles from alert.modules, and then import class names from class names, which is installed from class names. Okay. And then we have our div with a class name with our validation logic that goes in between these curly braces here that says, hey, if it's a success, boom, we give style success. If it's an error, we give styles an error. Okay, awesome. Customizing post CSS config. Out of the box with no configuration, Next.js compiles CSS using post CSS. To customize post-CSS config, you can create a top-level file called postcss.config.js. This is useful if you're using libraries like tailwind.css, which I'm not. Here are the steps to add Tailwind CSS. Wow, Tailwind CSS. We recommend using PostCSS preset env and PostCSS flex bugs fixes to match Next.js's default behavior. First, install these packages, and I'm not, because I'm not going to be using Tailwind. Then write the following in our postcss.config.js, but you guys can totally do this if you are using Tailwind. And then we also want to recommend removing unused CSS by specifying the purge option on tailwind.config.css. Nice. So if it finds out that it's not using it, it'll just kick it to the curb after during compilation, and it'll never get to the final product. To learn more about custom post-CSS configuration, check out the documentation for post-CSS. You can do that later. Absolutely. Using Sass. Out of the box, Next.js allows you to import Sass using both the .scss and .sass extensions. You can use component-level Sass via CSS modules and the module.scss or module.sass extension. Before you can use Next.js built-in Sass support, be sure to install Sass. And that's it. So if I want to use Sass, I just go npm install Sass, and then I use Sass. Nice. All right, so I just hit next lesson, but I think now I'm going to, like I said, take a bit of a break. Like I said, it's important to take breaks, and like I said, that my head's hurting just a little bit. So I'm going to do that, go hang out with my wife for a little while. And but I do have a series of videos called Git Shorts coming up soon. It's just going to be short little clips of Git commands and how to use them in your how to use them in your like development environment, right? All right, so I hope anybody who's here say goodbye. If not, goodbye to you. Thank you for watching. I really hope you guys have everybody has a great day, and take care.